The Billabong Pro Tahiti final day highlight reel, the best of the entire event, started with round 5 with Ricardo dos Santos eliminating Taj Burrow for the second year in a row.
Incredible performance from the young Brazilian all the way through from the trials and making it a lot further through the draw.
Then we went on to Owen Wright versus Julian Wilson, a much anticipated matchup. Owen Wright ending up on top.
Bit of a one-sided clash this one, a huge heat score total of 18.96 for Owen Wright.
9.33 on that specific ride for Owen as he was dialing every single good wave in this heat. A 9.63 for this insane read, super deep in the pocket and applying free into the channel. At this point, he was a clear pick for a favorite to maybe go on to the win. Then we see Jeremy Flores taking out Kieran Perot in heat number 3.
One of the event standouts, back to his old tricks and just getting completely shacked here on the shallow reef shelf.
Pretty classic to see this matchup here. We had John Florence take on Damien Hobgood. John got the job done against Damo.
Started to pick up some momentum as he moved through to the later rounds. John Florence got all the way through to the semis eventually.
Quarterfinal matchup, Mick Fanning had his hands full with Ricardo dos Santos and got this 10 at the buzzer to make it onto the semifinals.
This was the way that gave Mick all the momentum moving through the rounds. That gave him a heat score total of 19.07.
A massive score for Mick Fanning. You can see the emotion there for Mick getting this perfect 10. This might have been the first signs of predicting Mick Fanning taking this whole thing a couple of hours later. But quarterfinal number 2, we saw Owen Wright take on CJ Hobgood.
One of the greatest matchups we saw through the whole event on paper, and it didn't disappoint. A really close battle. Owen Wright fighting back in the dying stages to get himself the win.
A big moment for Owen Wright, getting another big total, 18.9 total, counting that 9.5 at the end. As the quarterfinals continued, we saw Joel Parkinson take out Jeremy Flores in a pretty controversial heat.
Yeah, some close scores. Parko had himself a 9.57, I believe, in this heat. Jeremy Flores, his high scoring ride was a high 8, and here it is. And the two were pretty comparable. Jeremy feeling a little short-changed at the end of it all. Parko went on to make the final.
So Jeremy Flores a little disappointed, but he had some big moments during this event. Then we saw quarterfinal number 4, the all-rookie matchup. John Florence was able to really take out Gabriel Medina here.
Oh, we were hanging to see this clash. Two of the superstars coming up, and it was John.
Into the semifinals, Mick Fanning versus Owen Wright. Fanning started things off with a 9.5 here.
Fanning just on a tear at this point. Just the momentum was with him, and he just had so many fantastic waves, but it was a close heat still.
9.5 for this effort for Mick Fanning. Perfect tube approach. Owen Wright had so much momentum and more recent success here in Tahiti. We thought Owen Wright was a clear favorite, but Fanning hanging on another insane tube ride through the inside.
He just kept picking off the bombs, Mick, getting himself as deep as he possibly could and always finding the exit.
Look at that little jam back into the pocket, an 8.43 in this matchup against Owen Wright, and then Mick at the end took the win and was our first finalist. Let's check out semi 2. Joel Parkinson had John Florence.
Really good battle between John and Parko in this semi-final clash. John got himself an incredible 9.67 for this ride, busting through the curtain in the final stages, somehow held on and almost got over the top of Parko, but the Gold Coast lad held on.
He sure did. Joel Parkinson getting a 7.57 here. He was covering so much ground inside the tube, big pumps and classic carve downs as he finished another solid performance, getting one back on John after that heat they had in Rio de Janeiro. Another look at the 7.57 here from Parko.
Yeah, the big win for Parko. It set up an incredible final with Parko taking on his good mate.
The final all squared away for the Billabong Pro Tahiti. Mick Fanning taking on Joel Parkinson. Parko getting a 9.5 on the very first wave.
Such a strong opening ride, and at this point I think the Fanning fans are kind of freaking out. Joel got an unbelievable start, getting some turns done on the open face also.
Great turn on the inside section, great flyaway kick out, taking another angle on the 9.5. We're starting to see the momentum shift straight to Joel Parkinson at the start. Meanwhile, Mick Fanning is just sitting out the back all alone. Joel kicks out, then packs this one.
Yeah, unbelievable backup for Parko. 8.87 on this ride. Just a little west bowl, but really hollow this wave. Parko was off to a fantastic start. Mick Combo chasing an 18-point total in the final, in the early stages.
Well, we saw Parko take control heats like that throughout the event. He hadn't had any losses. He didn't have to surf in the second round or round 5 at all. Then finally, Mick Fanning gets started, a 9.37 for this wave.
Yeah, fighting back so well, Mick Fanning. And you know what? Once he got out of that combo land, you just had the feeling that something was going to go his way in the final stages.
Perfect approach on this one on his backhand, sliding, putting his whole back in the wall, ends up coming out. Nice read on that wave, and then it really came down to a decision with priority. Joel Parkinson took a wave early in the set, and then Fanning was able to get this 9-5 right when he needed it the most.
And the judges had to reward him. The biggest wave of the final, the biggest wave we had seen in some time, and Mick just surfed it beautifully, got himself the score he needed, moved into the lead, and Parko couldn't find an answer in the final stages.
The biggest highlight there, Mick Fanning taking the Billabong Pro Tahiti 2012 title. We'll have many more highlights to come next year.